As expected, the British Grand Prix was one of the most exciting races of the year, which the final result wasn't that much anticipated. Fans got a real adrenaline rush watching the scenario happen in the Silverstone circuit. New data for some teams, unexpected result, and some bizarre decisions. This Grand Prix was absolutely exceptional. The last race in Silverstone wasn't classical too. It was the last race before the new FIA regulations, in a timing where the battle for the title between Hamilton with Mercedes from a side and Max Verstappen with Red Bull from the other side. A real controversy happened, especially after the collision between the two drivers. Hamilton finished the race on top of the podium, followed by Ferrari's driver Charles Leclerc. This year, things changed. Carlos Sainz, Ferrari's driver, could finally achieve his first victory in Formula 1. However, a lot have been said about this win. And about Ferrari's other driver Leclerc, home Silverstone was in the most times one of his favorite races where he did very well. Although this time he failed to make the podium. Leclerc moved from leading the race to finish P4 because of a technical issue. Max Verstappen, the driver on top of the driver's standings currently, also lost the race lead. The British Grand Prix wasn't Max's great race. What were the real problems that made the winning mission this hard for Verstappen? Is Silverstone becoming a real curse for the Red Bull and Max? Keep on watching, guys. We'll be analyzing the real technical reason behind Verstappen's failure to win the British Grand Prix. But before this, press the subscribe button down there if you haven't already done it. Activate the bell to be notified of our new videos. A lot of fresh news to check. So besides the boost he received from the fans following the qualifying, where he could secure a place on the front for the final race, the crowd's behavior didn't actually represent a real matter for the Dutch driver, unlike the media. Verstappen expressed his total unhappiness with the British press. The Formula 1 title holder said that the British press used to amplify the situation when his rival Hamilton received similar acts and turned it into a real drama. However, in his case, they intentionally ignored what he called the abuse he received in England. I don't care if I get booed. It is what it is. Lewis was not booed that bad in Zandvoort last year. In Zandvoort it happened, and then it was a big drama. It's the same with the British press. If it had been the other way around, you'd get 100 of questions about it. Now it's one question and they act like it's all very normal. The difference is that it doesn't bother me, or at least I don't ask for adjustment to be made. If they don't like me, that's their problem. Verstappen carried on insisting on the Dutch fans when moving for his home race not to act in the same way. Max hopes that Zandvoort would not boo his rival Hamilton the same way. I hope that Zandvoort would not react this way. It does not bother me at all, so it's not necessary for me either. It does not necessarily give me an extra strength. I hope on Sunday that I get 26 points. That's the most important thing for me. Then we'll continue. Verstappen was hoping to make it up on Sunday. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. In addition to the psychological pressure he received, the Dutch faced other technical problems, thing that made him lose the race lead yesterday. On his official Twitter account, Verstappen described the Sunday race as an unlucky afternoon with an angry emoji aside. Max continued saying that he and his team did very well from the start of the race. However, the damage he got on his car's floor caused him this back off. Verstappen said that they did their best and they got a P7, which is not a disaster too. We were on it from the beginning of the race. After getting off the line great on both occasions, after picking up debris, my floor was severely damaged and we struggled throughout the race. I gave it my all for P7 and collected important points. Chris Shahana, the Red Bull team principal, explained that Max's RB18 hit some debris from Alfa Romeo's Zhou Guanyu and Williams' Alexander Albon. Dramatic car crash. Debris destroyed the RB18's underside, which is considered in the Formula 1 world as a downforce generator. The 2022 Formula 1 cars use the underfloor tunnels to generate a large ground effect downforce. Verstappen was actually leading the final race before he suspected an issue with his car and slowed his speed. He was thinking of a puncture of his RB18. Max commented on this to the Sky F1 just after the race, saying, "I had just got into the lead because of Carlos' moment. A few corners later, there was a piece of debris on the racing line, and as soon as I arrived there, I couldn't drastically turn left or right because you can't do that in that King. So I tried to hit it like head on. Normally, it would just explode or just get pushed away, but this time, it went into my floor and it completely destroyed the whole left-hand side of my floor. Within 2 corners, I felt like the car was falling apart and I thought I had a puncture." After that, Verstappen quickly called his team to affirm that the instability was always there. Although the team staff were believing that the issue was about the bodywork, which they think not very important for the car's operation. a possible retiring from the race wasn't excluded. Despite this, Verstappen fought on track and finally managed a 7th place finish, which is a very good score after all. Talking to Sky F1, Horner said that Max was able to win the race, but they had to manage how to pick up some points and limit the damage. He had a great pace today. He was able to get the lead, was starting to build the lead, and then hit some debris. It did a huge amount of damage to the underside of the car, and he lost probably close to half the downforce from the floor. The Red Bull boss said that his team's engineer and technical staff believed that the damage in Max's RB18 was actually getting worse as the race continued. Horner added that 7th place finish isn't what Max deserves, especially with the performance he showed, but these points will make a significant difference by the end of the season. I think the damage just got worse, and then he went on the hard tires that made it even harder for him. But at that point, we were racing against Aston Martin and Haas and so on, just trying to pick up a few points and limit the damage. But then, with the safety car, we put on a set of softs and he fought like a lion. I'd never known him to fight as hard for the 7th place, but that could just make the difference at the end of the championship. During his interview with the Sky F1 after the end of the race, Verstappen seemed to be satisfied what he could achieve, saying that his score is better than 0 points anyways. I think overall to finish 7th with that car was still a good result. It's better than 0 points. That's for sure. Verstappen, who's still on the top of drivers' standings with 181 points, just before his teammate Sergio Perez and Ferrari's both drivers, then Mercedes, Russell and Hamilton, didn't in fact lose many points, even that Perez and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz did actually secure the 1st, 2nd and 4th places. The title holder replied on a question asked by the press after the race if this situation was critical for him. Verstappen said, "Critical means the car isn't able to run anymore, but I think overall, to finish 7th with that car was a still good result." Max Verstappen, who lost the chance to win his 6th race, is moving next weekend to race at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg-Styria for the Austrian Grand Prix to prove himself and win the home race like he did last year. But will the team manage to fix his car's issues just before the weekend? Would it be sufficient, or Red Bull will be obliged to add some more upgrades on Verstappen's RB18, especially with the cost cap issue? The teams will be again squeezed to try to fix their technical issues before the next competition. How they will manage to do it? Stick around guys, we'll be providing you with all the latest news about Formula 1 teams, drivers, and most of all, cars upgrades. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider liking it. Tell us in the comments below, what is your opinion about Verstappen's score in Silverstone? What do you think of the next race in Austria? What are your predictions and who you'll be supporting? Thanks for watching, see you next time.